guys, so today I am here with a little post Murph flow for you. Nice and short and sweet, absolutely perfect for the day after you do Murph. So I'm sure you've done a lot of running, push-ups, pull-ups, maybe you're doing squats, maybe you're doing sit-ups, maybe you did a modified version, basically all the things, and I'm sure you're feeling a little bit worse for wear today. So we're just going to really quickly loosen everything up, get everything flowing again, feeling a little bit more free, and hopefully leave you feeling a lot better in your body. So again, if you have any injuries, then please work to them. Don't force and don't push anything. Just listen to your body. If something's really tight, really sore, really painful, hamstrings, hips, calves, maybe just spending a little bit longer in certain poses if that feels good. Just hitting pause if you need to, spending a little bit longer there and just working through into those areas of tightness and tension. So we're just going to start today just laying down on our backs. Just laying down on the back, bringing the heels and the feet to touch, just placing the hands onto the abdomen. Just letting the knees knock open. If this is really tight on the hips, then you can take blocks or pillows, cushions underneath the knees, because as we do stay here for a couple of minutes, obviously the hips are going to start to open a little bit more. And then just taking a quick body scan just to check in on how you're feeling. Notice any tension in the jaw, any tension in the shoulders, just release, relax, just try and let it go. And then just bringing the attention to the breath. Nice deep and even inhales and exhales, and just staying with this breath throughout the flow. If the mind wanders, if it goes somewhere that takes you away, just gently guiding it back. Also, if you are finding some pain, some tension, some tightness in a certain posture, then again, just coming back to this breath, just focusing the mind here. Take one more breath. And then just gently scoop the knees up, bringing them into the chest, giving them a hug, just gently rocking from side to side, maybe taking the head and neck from side to side too, just releasing, relaxing that tension. And just dropping the left foot down to the floor, picking up the right leg, just catching hold of the back of the ankle or the calf, just gently circling the foot here and guiding that right knee into the body. Maybe clicking, maybe clunking, and then just bending the knee, taking this left leg out this time, toes to ceiling, guiding this knee into the chest and then pressing the heel away from you, bringing the toes in towards you. That's just going to deepen that stretch in the right hip. Breathing here, trying to keep the left shoulder down on the floor, so try not to let it lift. Keep the chest nice and open. Just take one more breath. And release that right foot down this time. Pick up the right leg. Again, clasping the back of the ankle or the calf. Just putting some movement in that left foot again, noticing any clicks, any clunks. Guiding that left knee a little bit closer to the body. And then bending the knee, straightening that right leg out, toes to ceiling. Again, pressing that left heel forward, bringing the toes back towards you. So you're starting to deepen that stretch in the left hip. Trying to keep that right shoulder on the floor, so don't let it lift up. So really relaxing. Take one more breath. And then release. Bringing both knees in, just rocking the length of the spine, coming up to seated, crossing over at the ankles, making your way into a tabletop position. We're going to come into our puppy pose. So I'm starting off with the hips stacked over the knees, anchoring the lower body here, just walking gently the hands forward. So the chest and the chin is melting down towards the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, just imagine it going in that direction. Maybe coming up onto the fingertips here, really sinking down. So we're opening into those shoulders, those lats, also the chest, and then just putting some movement here in the hips. Just swinging the hips if that feels good. If not, just find some stillness here. Staying on the hands if that's enough. Taking one more breath. And then gently coming back into your tabletop position. We're going to make our way into downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, send the seat back towards the heels, press into the hands, start to straighten out those legs. If it's too much pressure on the hamstrings with the feet here, just gently walk them just a little bit further apart than you normally would. Just start by bending one knee, then the other. So having a slightly wider stance here in our downward dog just takes a little bit of pressure off the hamstrings. So here we're just stretching the whole body, so really pressing into the hands, lengthening the spine. We're going to start to open up the shoulders, bending one knee and then another. We're opening into the calves, into the hamstrings. Maybe twisting the hips if that feels good. Basically whatever your body needs, just moving how it wants to. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what it feels like. And then bring in those feet just a hip width apart. Take the gaze between the ankles or the knees. If you need to keep those knees soft and the heels lifted, then just doing whatever works for you. Take a breath, inhale, exhale. One more breath, inhale, exhale. Step the right foot forward between the hands. So we're going to find our low lunge here. So lifting up, take the hands straight up overhead, relax the shoulders, inhale, exhale. One more breath, inhale. As you exhale, float the hands down, frame the foot, finding that half split. So start to straighten into that right leg. Walk the fingers back, excuse me, if you need to. Flexing those toes. So we're really stretching into that hamstring. Keep the chest lifted. Breathing into this hamstring. Inhale. Exhale, walk the hands forward, bend into this leg, left hand to the inside of the right foot, coming into a twisted lunge here. So stay here on the knee if that's enough, or lifting up. So we're really starting to engage into the left quad. Inhale. Exhale, float the right hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale. Step forward, left foot. Finding our low lunge again. Inhale the hands up. Relax the shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, start to float the hands down. Start to straighten into that left leg. Toes come back. So really getting into that left hamstring this time. Try and keep the hips square. So try not to lean over towards the right, but we're squaring off those hips. Breathing into that hamstring. If the hamstring does feel really tight, if it's screaming at you now, just bring that attention back to the breath. Really think about breathing into this left hamstring. And then bending into the left knee again. Right hand to the inside of the left foot. Reaching up, finding that twist. Maybe lifting that back leg. Inhale. Exhale. Framing the left foot. Step back, downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Dropping down onto the knees. Just coming up for a second onto the knees. And take the hands behind. From here, we're just going to shift the weight back into the hands a little bit, lifting the knees. So we're really stretching out the front of the feet, stretching into the shins. Relax the shoulders here. If the knees don't lift very high, that's absolutely fine. Just hovering them wherever you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Gently coming back. Just shuffling down into child's pose just for a moment. Take the forehead down. Rounding into that spine. Just creeping the fingers a little bit further forward. Still nice and active in this pose. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back up into your tabletop. And then back into your downward dog. Take a breath. Inhale. Float the right leg up. Bend at the right knee. So trying to stack that right hip on top of the left. Really stretching out into the front of the right hip. Press down into the right hand. Trying to get that heel towards the butt. So really opening out here. Take one more breath. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the right foot to the outside of the right hand, finding your lizard pose. Drop down onto the left knee just to start. Just find some movement here. You can make this as fluid or as still as you want. Just listening to your body and letting it tell you what it needs today. Maybe we straighten into that leg. Maybe we make slight circles. If you want to intensify that stretch on the hip, just angle those toes out slightly. Bring that knee out so that really starts to get into the inside of this hip here. Maybe come down onto the forearms if that works for you. Again, just either moving continuously or finding stillness and just coming back to that breath. Again, it's about just working with your body and what it needs today. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Tuck the toes on the left foot. We're going to send that right leg up. 3-legged dog. And then downward dog. Inhale. Float the left leg up. Bend at the knee. So really press down into both hands again. So you should feel a nice stretch in the front of the left hip here. The more you try and bring that heel down towards the butt, the more of a stretch you're going to get. Imagine that you're stacking that left hip on top of the right. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot to the outside of left hand. So finding lizard pose on the opposite side this time. Again, working with how it feels good, what your body needs. Maybe straightening and bending. Maybe making some circles. You can angle that foot out again to intensify the stretch. Maybe playing with arm or leg positioning. Again, just whatever works for your body. I'm going to take 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck the toes on the right foot. Left leg comes up. Downward dog. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Making our way into our pigeon pose. So really deep hip stretch here. So right leg comes forward first. So right toes up towards the left wrist. Right knee towards the right wrist. Make any alterations you need. As long as the hips are nice and square, then that works. If you need to take a prop underneath this right hip, what we don't want is to be flopping down here. If this hip doesn't touch the floor, then maybe taking a cushion or a pillow underneath here. Just making sure that left leg is straight back. Maybe folding the right heel in towards the body. And then just finding some stillness here. So staying on the hands if it's too much, or come down onto the forearms. Maybe you take a block, a cushion or a pillow underneath the head and release and relax. So we're trying to find some stillness here in this pose. So trying to stop the movement. And then maybe closing the eyes off and really focusing on that breath. Notice if any tensions come back into the shoulders and jaw. If this is particularly tight or challenging, this is the time when we might tense into the body to try and work against that feeling. This is the time when you really want to use that breath just to see if you can find a little space, seeing if you can find a little comfort in that discomfort. Let's stay here for one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back up onto the hands if you're not there. Tuck the toes on the left foot and the right leg back and just put some movement here in the right hip and the leg. So just bringing the blood back. Noticing any clicks and clunks and then just finding downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot comes forward this time. So finding your pigeon pose, on your left hand side. Again, just checking that right leg straight out behind. If that left hip doesn't come to the floor, then maybe using a prop under the left hip. Just making sure those hips are facing forward. Bring the heel into the body on the left foot as much as you need to. And then come and find that stillness. So again, if we're here on the hands, then that's absolutely fine. As long as you can feel a stretch, as long as you can feel that release, then that's what your body needs today. It doesn't need to look like mine, it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Again, just checking in with that body, noticing tightness or tension in the shoulders, in the jaw. Release. Come back to the breath. So you should be able to feel a stretch in the left glute, the left hip, maybe the hamstring, maybe the whole of the left leg, left side of the body. That's good. And then just coming back to the breath. So really think about sending the breath to those areas of tightness and tension. Just trying to release, trying to relax, trying to find that space. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back onto the hands if you're not there. Tuck under the toes on the right foot and the left leg back again. Putting some movement in that hip. Noticing the clicks, the clunks. Take a breath in downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Dropping down onto the knees. Untucking the toes. Coming into either a seated position or a kneeling position. Clasping the hands at the base of the spine. Squeezing the shoulders together, lifting the chin. So really opening out the chest. Sending the hands down towards the heels. Maybe seeing if you can take them away from the body a little bit. If you can't, then just keeping them here. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath. Release the hands. So this time, taking the hands straight out ahead, we're going to wrap one arm around the other. So either placing the backs of the hands together or coming around, placing the palms together. And then seeing if you're going to lift the elbows up above the shoulders. Take the gaze up towards the thumbs. And then just really round into the shoulders here. So we're really opening out the shoulders here. Pressing the hands forward, lifting the elbows. Really working into those shoulders. Take one more breath. And release, stretch it out, switching it round the other way, taking the other hand to the bottom this time. Again, either back of hand to back of hand or finding those palms, and then seeing if you can lift those elbows a little bit higher than the shoulders. Take the gaze up towards the thumbs, again pressing those elbows forward and lifted. At the same time, trying to make sure that the shoulders don't bunch up around the ears, so trying to relax the shoulder blades down the back. Soften the jaw. One more breath. And release. From here, staying in that seated position, take the right hand behind, left hand to the outside of the right knee. Just gently taking a twist over the right shoulder. As you breathe in, as you inhale, sitting up nice and tall. As you exhale, just moving into the space you've created. Take one more breath. And then come back through center, taking it round the other way. So left hand to the back, right hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Just dropping the chin down towards the chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. And then just taking the chin over towards the right shoulder. Taking the chin over towards the left shoulder. Back towards the right, this time taking a full circle. So just taking it as fast or as slow as feels good. When you've taken that full circle, just going back round the other way. Pausing if it feels good. If there's any tightness or tension, maybe just hanging out there just for a moment more. And then just coming back to center. And then just making your way into a comfortable seated position. So maybe taking one leg in front of the other, and cross-legged, maybe taking a half lotus, just placing the hands on the knees. Just taking a couple of breaths here together. So releasing, relaxing everything. We're just going to take 5 breaths here together. So we inhale 1. Inhale 2. Inhale 3. Inhale 4. Inhale 5. And just coming back to regular breathing. And just gently bringing the hands together at heart center, pressing the palms together, tilting the head down towards the fingers. Just taking a couple of breaths, just to thank yourself for moving your body today without any ego, without any judgment. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through that practice. I hope that feels a little bit easier on your body. I hope you've released some of the tension, some of the tightness, and your body moves a little bit freely now. Namaste.